Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are again here to discuss a big shoe, and this time is the DMX 10. This is the latest retro that came out earlier this year. I've been putting off this review for a while now. I just remembered I actually have these to review. We're gonna do a quick comparison with the 2013, the 5 year ago retro, see how these are different, similarities, comfort. We're going to talk about the system obviously, but some of the most iconic shoes that came out from Reebok in late 90s. I say late 90s because these came in 1997. These were the first one to feature the new, at that time, DMX 10 system, which was revolutionary. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get closer and look at these shoes. So we'll be right back in a second. All right, now that we are closer, we're gonna go ahead and get familiar with these boxes. So the brown ones, light browns on top, these are the latest retros. This is how the latest retros from Reebok are coming. And as you can see, we have the two original colorways in size 8.5. They're now marketed as unisex, same as the 2013. Back in the day, there were different colorways, but this one is the white, blue, cherry, and silver, the most iconic original colorway. And the other one is the black, white, tweed brown, and blue. Some of you might recognize these labels. These came from the UK. I think I bought them from Size, question mark, whatever you pronounce that. And the 2013 retro right here, I bought from Jimmy Jazz back in the day. As you can see, white, blue, cherry, and silver. These ran a little bit bigger back in the day. I got size 8. They still fit me pretty perfectly well. But the latest retro I got in my normal 8.5 size, which is great. So let's go ahead and open them real quick and pull a shoe from each one of them and compare it with the 2013 retro. We'll talk about the system as well. Let me get them out real quick. Put those boxes in the back and out of the way so we can have a little bit more room here and talk about these beautiful DMX shoes. Let me get that 2013. Not a lot of differences. I kind of preferred these boxes from 2013. They had a little bit more color and more of a kind of uniqueness of the way they look, but hey, the way it is, it is. All right, 2013 retro, 2018, early 2018. So let's put this 2013 in the back real quick and look at these. And obviously we're gonna talk about this system, the DMX 10. Most of you are familiar with it. 5 pods on the heel, 5 pods on the forefoot. We have transition bridge that transfers the air from the forefoot to the heel and from the heel to the forefoot. Whenever you step, when you strike first with the heel, the air tries to escape, goes to the forefoot, and when you transition to the forefoot, goes the other direction. The commercial from back in the day was, if you look on YouTube, there's the alien commercial with these little aliens running around the pods and kind of supporting your foot. It's difficult to explain, but go ahead and find it. You're gonna love it. You'll see branding here, Reebok branding on this pod. This is the latest that Reebok are using on their shoes, and some more sizing and codes here. Full width air, you see the thickness, and whenever you place both fingers on the forefoot and the back, when you squeeze in the back, you can actually feel the air moving in the front and trying to expand. So this is functioning DMX. This is exactly what's in these shoes and in the 2013 as well. Now, there's another side to it. Back in the day, Reebok actually used another layer of moving air, which was placed right below the insole, very similar to what the DMX the Daytona DMX has and had. Unfortunately, all the retros now for the DMX 10 don't come with that top layer. That's why a lot of people are saying there's no real DMX, there's no functioning DMX, because it's not exactly the same comfort. But at the same time, they're pretty comfortable. You still can feel the system in the bottom, but again, you're not gonna hear or feel that much as the way you feel it in the Daytona DMX. Okay, so onto the shoes. Enough talking. Real quick, as you know, every shoe coming from Europe, you have some more tags explaining the materials, the uppers, and all the different languages from the European Union. One thing I really liked about that shoe is how huge and pronounced the midsole was back in the day. Obviously, the midsole is not climbing all the way here to the collar of it. This is, you know, your foot kind of sits right here where the pods end, and obviously this perforation was serving as ventilation as well. But from the side profile, it looked very sports car-like, again, very drag car-like. And in the back, we have Reebok with the reflective material. Back in the day it was 3M, now it's not marketed as 3M, it's just a reflective material. Stitching on the logo, that same fabric material that it's on the upper mesh was here as well on the midsole, you know, sort of midsole, because you still have rubber going up and in the bottom, but this was kind of protruding. Very nice detail, I really love that. And we have the reflective material here on the forefoot. And overall, the uniform feel of this shoe is great because it's kind of like one piece. And back in the day, shoes were not made like that as a one piece. You know, today this is more common with all the knit shoes. Back in the day, it was layers upon layers, and this shoe was kind of more uniform. Even the tone was attached to the upper, and only this mesh on the side was serving as a sort of a good ventilation point. Very signature rope laces, and you will notice how they go through different holes, which the tone supporters. Normally shoes have one or two maximum. This one had in every single lace. And here we have the Vector logo as well. Minimum branding, I absolutely love that era when Reebok was bringing the minimum branding. And same thing here on the toe lip, we have the Reebok branding. Now, if you look at the outsole, clearly you're gonna see that this system is present inside. You know, if you put it right here, it exactly matches, even to the detail. Let me see, you can see the actual Reebok Vector logo right here. Same exact as right here on the pod. So this is functioning, and I'll prove it to you one more time. If you press here, you'll see how the pod in the bottom depresses. It's the easiest to see in the forefoot because it's a little bit thicker, and reinforced on the heel because when you drag your foot, they don't want you to go through the rubber and start you know, peeling the pod and popping it, which I've seen back in the day with a lot of people wearing them all the time. But see how it depresses. Obviously there's a functioning DMX inside. Unfortunately not the top layer. Now if you look at the other colorway, this one is my actually favorite, to be honest with you, but I also love this one. You know, back in the day we called it the dark purple colorway. Just for a quick example with the Outstrek, let me just pull the Outstrek real quick and show you comparison between the padding on this shoe on the tone and on the around the heel and the padding on the Outstrek. Here's the Outstrek. Let me put them side by side. And by the way, I've been wearing all the time, so you'll see even the writing Reebok Outstrek on the heel is on the insole is disappearing. But look at the amount of padding we have on the DMX 10, and look at the one on the Outstrek Retro. More than twice. I mean, this is like almost paper thin compared to this pillows and cushions right here. Kind of sad. At the same time, I can't get enough of this shoe to wear it. I absolutely love it because it's one of my favorites. But anyway, still, you know, this is much better constructed and high quality shoe. Considering that I grabbed these on sale from the UK months back, I think I paid about $110, $120 for both. That's incredible. I don't know why people are sleeping on these shoes. This is absolutely amazing classic. But back on the black one, slightly different when it comes to the construction. But what I mean by that is the inner liner, it's a bit different than on the white one. Let me pull the insole and show it to you. Luckily, Reebok are compensating for the lack of the top layer of the DMX with this super thick polyurethane insole. Exactly the same polyurethane insoles they use for the question models with the DMX and Vector branding on top. Very nice, super thick. But again, there's no top layer of the DMX. Would have been super easy to visualize and spot if there was. Unfortunately, there isn't. But again, look at the quality of the ton. Look how thick it is. We have, you know, absolutely great craftsmanship piping for reflective piping. This all around the ton, this all around the shoe. And of course in the back, this is all reflective material. Same goes for the cherry version. And this is the DMX system with kind of a sort of a gum outsole, not entirely because it's still clear, but again, you can see the pod inside. You can spot the Vector logo right here on the heel, the transition bridge, and the pods are depressing, and you can feel the air moving in there. Not as great as on the Daytona, the latest retro from Reebok, but still very comparable. Now, let me go back real quick to the 2013. So if we put them side by side, you will see the slight color differences between both. Very, very slight color differences, to be honest with you. And what I think, the latest retro is a little bit brighter on some spots, where the 2013 is a little bit brighter on different spots. Like the Vector logo on the heel is brighter in 2013 compared to the latest retro. Also seems a little bit smaller. On the ton, the mesh on the latest retro seems brighter than the one on 2013. Overall, the construction and the quality of the shoe are very similar. It's really hard to spot any differences, to be honest with you. The only thing I think it's very different, and at least in my mind, if you look at the pods. Now look how much more, I guess, bluish. Again, obviously this yellowed a little bit over the time, you know, it's been 5 years, but this is for me a little bit clearer to see the pods inside. This not so much, and this seems like the pod construction is a little bit different, and when you go to the back, you don't see that Reebok Vector logo. Maybe they didn't place them back in the day when they were doing these, but again, they're still depressible. You can still see how they collapse. Unfortunately, no top layer of DMX as well here. One thing I also like a lot, these metal lace loops here. They're made out of aluminum and they are branded with a Vector. A lot of small branding and Vector branding around the shoes, which I really like again. And the same, they preserve the same aluminum construction on these latest retros. But again, if you have the 2013 retro and you don't want to spend the money for this one, it's very, very similar. Keep it and just you know, use that one if you're running with it, or if you're just, you know, casually wearing it or whatever. Kind of hard to show that label, but let me see if I can force it somehow and see if it will show. Okay, so yeah, produced in December 2012, so these came early 2013, and these came in early 2018. Again, production date is in 2017. Yeah. So, in conclusion, I still believe these are one of the best retros to come from Reebok. Great quality, great insoles, functioning outside DMX system, great comfort, incredible padding, and overall comfort on the tone and the forefoot. Compared to, again, the Outstrek, unfortunately. 2013 was actually pretty good, and now aged a little bit more with the yellowing pods, so it kind of looks like the original pair. So if you still have it, it still looks great. And these are a must. I think if you find them anywhere today and you really like Reebok, this should be a must in your collection. Back in 2013, I missed on this one, so I was glad to grab it in this year's retro. And this is my favorite colorway. I absolutely love that cherry colorway. So that's gonna be it, guys. Lengthy video, I know, I'm sorry, but there's a lot to talk about this shoe. There's a lot to talk about this system. One of the best to come from Reebok in late 90s, which they used for many years. Even today, the retros coming with the DMX, they are still great. But that's it for now. Thank you very much. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, and we will be back with new videos very soon. Have a great day. Bye.